3 days before Valentine's Day, my fiancée told me she had doubts about us. I gave her space, took my mom out to dinner, and posted a photo I didn't expect to cause a stir. That night, I was flooded with 32 messages. Claudia, my 25-year-old fiancée, dropped the bombshell out of nowhere on a Monday afternoon. We had been together for almost 3 years, engaged for 8 months, and had already set a wedding date for September. The venue was booked, invitations were ready, everything was in motion. Things seemed fine until I got her message while checking my phone between meetings. It read, "Can we talk tonight? It's important." I went home thinking it might be about wedding stress or her family, but when I walked in, she was sitting on the couch, serious, with her hands clasped. She looked at me and said, "I've been thinking a lot lately, and I have doubts about us. Maybe we should take a break before the wedding to make sure." I stood there in silence for a few seconds, trying to process what she'd just said. 3 days before Valentine's Day, after nearly a year of engagement and having booked Mason Aurelian since December, I asked her how long this break would be. She replied, "I don't know, a few weeks, maybe a month. I just need space to think clearly without the pressure of planning all this." Truth is, I'd noticed some odd behavior from Claudia for a couple of weeks. She was staying late at work, being secretive with her phone, and spending every weekend with her friend Veronica. Classic red flags, but I chalked it up to wedding stress. I told her, "Take all the time you need." She looked surprised, as if she expected me to stop her or try to convince her to stay, but I just nodded and went to the kitchen to make myself some dinner. "That's it," she said. "You're not going to try to change my mind." "You asked for time to think, and I'm giving it to you," I replied. That night, she packed a bag and told me she'd be staying with Veronica for a while. She gave me a speech about how mature I was being and how this was probably best for both of us. I just listened and helped her load her things into the car. As soon as I saw her taillights disappear, I pulled out my phone and started making some changes. Update: that morning, I woke up with a plan. Claudia wanted a break, so I was going to give her a complete one. I started by removing her from all my social media: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, everything. I also blocked her. A full digital separation. Then I called my mom. "Hi, Mom, what are you doing this Thursday night for Valentine's Day?" "Nothing special, honey. Why? Would you like to go to dinner with me?" "I have a reservation at Mason Aurelian from December, and I'd hate to waste it." At first, she was surprised and asked if something had happened between Claudia and me. I told her Claudia was dealing with some personal issues and that I wanted to take the most important woman in my life out to dinner. "Oh, honey, that sounds lovely. It's been ages since I went to a nice restaurant," she said. "Perfect." The reservation was already for two, so I didn't need to change anything. That afternoon, Claudia texted me, "How are you handling all this?" I replied, "Fine, taking your advice and focusing on myself." "What does that mean?" she asked. "Just that, focusing on improving, growing." She didn't reply for 3 hours, then wrote, "Well, I'm glad you're taking it well." Truth is, I was handling it perfectly. Update: that's when things started getting interesting. Veronica called me around noon. "Hey, Lucas, what's going on between you and Claudia?" She said she needed time to think, so I'm giving her space, I replied. "She says you're acting weird, like too calm about all this." "And how am I supposed to act, Veronica?" "I don't know, maybe a bit more upset. She thought you'd fight for her." This was unbelievable. She leaves me 3 days before Valentine's Day, and now she expects me to chase after her, begging. I told Veronica, I respect her decision. If she needs time to figure out if she wants to marry me, I'm giving it to her. But don't you want to fix things? I can't fix anything with someone who's doubting our entire relationship. Veronica, it's up to her now. She went quiet for a moment, then said she had to go. 20 minutes later, Claudia texted me. "Veronica told me you talked. Are you really okay with all this? You asked for a break, Claudia. That's what I'm respecting. Maybe we should talk about boundaries, like if we're going to see other people during this break." The audacity was staggering. She wanted to bench me while she figured out her feelings. "You said you needed clarity," I replied. "Do what you need to get it." "That doesn't answer my question, Lucas. I'm not your fiancé right now, Claudia. You made that clear Monday night. I have no obligation to update you on my personal life." After that, she tried calling me, but I let it go to voicemail. Her message was a 10-minute ramble, a mix of justifications and suggestions that taking a break didn't mean splitting up, that we should set clear rules and communicate better. I deleted it before it finished. Third update: Thursday, Valentine's Day. It was game night, but I had other plans. I put on my best suit and picked up my mom at 5:30. She looked stunning, like we were going to the theater. "You look great, Mom," I said. "So do you, honey. Are you sure about going to such a fancy place?" "Mom, you raised me alone for 18 years, worked 2 jobs so I could study. You deserve every fancy meal I can afford." We went to Mason Aurelian, the restaurant I'd reserved. Perfect table, great lighting, beautiful ambience. My mom was radiant. "Lucas, this place is incredible," she said. "And the prices, are you sure?" "More than sure, Mom." The dinner was amazing, 3 courses, wine pairing, everything included. She opened up, sharing stories from her youth I'd never heard before. We laughed so hard our stomachs hurt. Her eyes teared up when I gave her flowers. "Someday you'll make a woman very happy," she said. "Right now, I'm making my favorite woman happy." When dessert came, I took out my phone and snapped a photo of us. She looked joyful, radiant, and I felt completely at peace. I posted it to my public Instagram with the caption, "The best date I've ever had. Love you, Mom." The reaction was immediate. My phone started buzzing nonstop. Likes, comments from friends, family, colleagues. Everyone thought it was a sweet gesture to take my mom out for Valentine's Day. We finished dinner around 9:30 and I dropped her off at home. When I got to my apartment at 10:15, my phone was flooded. Claudia had seen the post, likely through mutual friends. Messages started pouring in. I counted them one by one. "Happy Valentine's Day. I saw your post. Did you really go to dinner with your mom tonight? That was the reservation you made for us. Is this a joke, Lucas? This is pathetic. Now everyone will think we broke up. Delete that post right now." My sister called asking if the wedding's canceled. What do I tell her? "Please talk to me. This isn't funny anymore. You're making a fool of yourself and dragging me down with you. Call me. We need to talk like adults. Fine, be childish if you want, but I do care. Please, Lucas, I'm sorry for everything. Can we talk for 5 minutes? I know you're reading this. Your mom looked happy tonight. I miss you. This break was a mistake. I want to come back. I love you." 32 messages between 10:15 p.m. and 2:30 a.m. I screenshotted every single one, put my phone on silent, and slept with a huge smile, better than I had in months. Fourth update, Friday, 7 a.m. Claudia showed up at my apartment. I was drinking coffee and reading the news when she started pounding on the door. "Lucas, open up. I know you're there." I finished my coffee calmly before opening the door. She looked like she hadn't slept. "We need to talk," she said, barging in without waiting for permission. "About what, Claudia? About last night, the post, this ridiculous break. You made it look like we broke up." "My grandma called this morning asking if we canceled the wedding. And did you tell your grandma you're having doubts about marrying me? That's not the point." "It's exactly the point, Claudia. You said you needed time to think about whether you want to marry me. That sounds pretty serious." She started crying, not manipulative tears, but panicked ones. "I made a mistake, Lucas. I was stressed about the wedding and said something stupid. I didn't really want a break. It's too late for that. You asked for time to think, and I'm giving it to you. But now everyone thinks we broke up because of your post." I posted a photo with my mom, Claudia. "If people assume that means we're done, maybe you should ask yourself why. Because you used our Valentine's Day reservation and wrote it was the best date of your life. That was my reservation. And when you decided you needed space, you gave it up." She tried every angle, regrets, promises, apologies. She said she was scared of marriage, didn't think it through, and would never act like this again. I listened calmly, letting her say everything she wanted without interrupting. When she finished, I asked one question: "Do you still have doubts about marrying me?" She hesitated just for a second, but it was enough to confirm everything. "You can't have doubts and expect me to sit here as your backup plan, Claudia," I said, looking her straight in the eye. "Do you want to marry me or not?" "It's not that simple, Lucas. It's exactly that simple, Claudia. Yes or no, do you want to marry me?" She went silent again. "Get out," I said. Fifth update, the weekend and beyond. That weekend was wild. Claudia spent all of Friday calling every mutual friend we had, trying to control the narrative. She told everyone we had a small argument but were working things out. The problem was my Instagram post was still up and no one bought her story. Saturday morning, my cousin Emma called. "Lucas, what's really going on?" Claudia called Mom saying you're working through your differences, but that photo you posted felt like a final goodbye. She asked for a break, Emma, and I gave it to her. A break 3 days before Valentine's Day. That's harsh even for Claudia. Even for Claudia, what do you mean by that? Nothing, forget it. No, tell me, what did you mean by even for Claudia? Emma hesitated, then spilled what many had thought but no one had said. She's always been a bit demanding. Remember your birthday last year? She made you leave early because she felt she wasn't getting enough attention. Turns out several people had noticed her behavior. Emma mentioned at least 3 times Claudia threw a tantrum or made a scene for not being the center of attention. Honestly, Lucas, we were all surprised when you proposed. We always thought you deserved better. On Sunday, Claudia showed up at my door. I didn't open it. She left a bouquet of flowers and a handwritten letter, begging for forgiveness and another chance. Both ended up in the trash before I read half the letter. On Monday, I called the wedding venue to start the cancellation process. They told me I'd need to send a written notice and that there'd be penalties. I didn't care. It was the best money I've ever spent. Final update 2 weeks after the time to think. It's been 14 days since Claudia's brilliant idea for a break, and the outcome has been spectacular. Let's start with the practical stuff. Canceling the wedding cost me about $4,000 between the venue, catering, and other reservations, worth every penny to avoid a lifetime of her drama. Last weekend, she picked up the rest of her things from the apartment. Veronica and another friend helped her while I was at my mom's. She left the engagement ring on the counter and another letter I didn't read. The social media reaction was a masterpiece. Claudia posted some vague quotes about overcoming challenges and prioritizing personal growth. No one bought it. My Valentine's Day post with my mom at a fancy restaurant got over 150 likes. Dozens of people commented on what a good son I am. My mom won't stop telling everyone how I took her to the best restaurant in town and made her feel like a queen. According to her, it was her best Valentine's Day in years. Claudia tried contacting me several times through mutual friends, always with the same message. She's sorry, she wants to talk. I responded with the same thing. She asked for time to think, and I'm giving her all the time she wants. Last week, I learned the real reason for her doubts. Veronica accidentally let it slip to someone who told my cousin Emma. Turns out Claudia had been texting her college ex-boyfriend, who moved back to town in January. According to Veronica, nothing physical happened, but it was emotional cheating. She wanted a break to explore her options without fully letting me go. Her plan was to keep me as a backup, but when I gave her exactly what she asked for, distance, instead of begging, she panicked and realized the grass isn't always greener. Too late. I'm not anyone's plan B. The best part. These past 2 weeks, I've been happier than I was in the last 6 months with her. I'm no longer tiptoeing around her mood swings or bracing for her next outburst. My mom and I now have dinner every Thursday. She says I seem lighter, like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders, and she's not wrong. Claudia can take all the time in the world. Meanwhile, I'm moving forward. I sleep soundly, knowing I dodged a disaster. Sometimes, the trash takes itself out.